one of my friends who's also pretty into health, he was talking about Peter Attia on how like, he was saying like, well, what do you want to be doing for the last 10 years of your life in some sense? It's like, what for those last 10 years, do you want to be sitting in a chair, unable to play with your great-great-grandchildren, having no energy? It's like, sometimes it's kind of unfortunate to play that long game because people don't want to view themselves as old, but it's like, I like to do that all the time and say, Harley of 90, what do you want to be doing? How do you want to feel? And I just I keep
like that.
asking that question, which is
I like that approach. That's really good. And I actually talk about that a lot. So what I do on a day-to-day basis is pretty much speak with my healthcare providers who use our true diagnostic testing and teach them even kind of the why. Like, why should people care about this in the first place, right?
Sure.
If they can't convince patients, then, if your own healthcare provider can't convince you, who else can? So,
sure.
I actually tell them to play on that you were just talking about. Ask them why they came to see you in the first place. Why are they at a longevity doctor? Why are they not going to see their general practitioners and for 5 minutes, because you only get like 5 minutes face to face with your GP, and that I think changes a lot of their almost like marketing or sales strategy, because if you start to ask people their why, you get into their story, you understand them from a more personal level, and then maybe it is that they want to see their grandchildren. I always say, hey, if the opportunity arose when I'm 80 or 90 years old that I want to start a new business, right? I want to be able to start a new business.
Sure.
I want to be able to walk my dog. I love animals. I love my dog, right? I want to be able to walk my dog. So it actually makes me so happy to see older individuals chronologically outside walking their dogs, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times people can't even go and leave their house and do something like that. So again, going back to your why, that really drives your health span, your increase in health span, those healthy years at the end of your life, your reasoning, and even having purpose and reasoning in life. Oh
yeah, for sure.
Those individuals are actually on average supposed to live 7 years longer and have more healthy years at the end of their life.
Man, that's interesting. Because I kind of wanted to ask about the impact of having either a religion, B, a community that's kind of like deep, or like a family-oriented community, or a church community, or a purpose, or like I've heard from a neuroscientist that said like the people that feel more in tune with their purpose and maybe have a deeper relationship with A, God, or B, whatever else they might believe in, they have better neurological health. I can't even describe what kind of health, but I was curious how this impacts epigenetics, religion / God / church / community.
Yeah, I mean, it all does. Even Harley, the way we talk to ourselves, like the thoughts, the way we process it, right? So if you're someone, I'll answer your question here in a second more directly, but if you're someone who, why'd you do that? Or, oh my gosh, you made a mistake. Or why'd you just say that? Why didn't you do this, right? That negative kind of cycle of thinking, you're going to have a negative expression on your genes. You're going to get more stressed out. It's going to go through that cascading event we kind of talked about at the beginning of this episode. Whereas if you're someone who talks in a positive fashion, hey, good job, or hey, you made a mistake, but it's okay. Get over it. You'll do better next time. Like, you're going to feel better. You're not going to get as angry. You're not going to get upset. You're going to go the complete opposite way. And being surrounded by a supportive community that is okay with, failures and okay with picking you back up, that's all part of it. So like you said, whether it's a belief system with God or some other type of religion, or you have a community or just support, that is completely necessary, I think, to get through this life, right? We're all going through our own challenges and our own stuff. So to have people by you that you're able to vent to, that you're able to talk to, and that you're able to trust, has proven to have beneficial effects on your health. I know I mentioned also the blue zones a little bit earlier as well. So I forget, I just read something about it this week, and I forget the name of the person who identified these blue zones off the top of my head, but they're literally called blue zones because he circled them with a blue marker on a map. So that's why they're called blue zones, but they're these areas where these groups of people tend to live way longer. I'm talking, they're healthy going into their hundreds, 110s, et cetera. And one of the biggest drivers of why is researchers think they have a better community and they have quality relationships. Of course, along with quote unquote, those longevity genes, a better diet, a very low stress life. But the community is a massive part of that.
Yeah, it's really cool to see, because honestly, it's unfortunate. Ever since COVID, it seems like people are way less in communities than before. Maybe their community's on their phone, but that's not a real community in the same way. But it kind of has showed me, like, make sure that your circle, I'm talking to myself, make sure my circle is, solid, supportive, etc. And yeah, I really do feel like that's important. Like, go ahead.
No. I like that you brought this up, and this is really interesting. I saw this tweet the other day. I forget who sent it to me, but it was, hey, make sure you have a good amount of, like, it was a weird analogy. It was like, make sure you have a good amount of treadmill friends versus, like, couch friends, basically meaning, hey, have you heard of this?
No, maybe? But I'm just trying to think it through.
Okay. So after you hang out, and I'm sure someone's going to come to mind right after I say this, because people came to mind in terms of my friend group after I read it. You have these friends who afterwards, they just energize you so much. They give you all these good ideas and stuff that you just want to run on a treadmill afterwards. However, you also have that group of friends who they drain you so much that you just want to sit on a couch afterwards. So it was talking about, like, what is this called? Why do we have this feeling? Like, they couldn't even give this a name. But it was this idea that, hey, you need to have a good amount of those treadmill friends versus those couch friends, because you can't always be, ramped up after those conversations and wanting to do more, but you can't also be drained after those conversations. So you have to have a healthy medium. And I don't know, love to hear your thoughts about that.
Yeah, it's really well said. Yeah, you can almost feel the energy of some people. Like you said, it might be good and bad because you want to be energized. Yeah. But if you're energized all the time and, it's late and you need to fall asleep, you don't always want to be insanely energized. You sometimes want to have a relaxation time that is a de-stressor. But yeah, I totally agree. Like, I typically lean towards people that are more treadmill-like, because I am a treadmill guy who's always moving, new ideas, passionate about something, and I like surrounding myself with people that are really passionate about their dreams, goals, ideas. And so I think it's a good balance, but I've certainly leaned towards more treadmill style people, using that analogy.
Yeah, I think I do too. And you know what, you reminded me of something from the tweet that was, they did call it some type of energy. They weren't able to explain it, but there's like this transfer, right, of energy between people. I definitely lead more toward the treadmill, because again, I like to be on the go. I like to learn new things, but I think it's important that maybe with your treadmill friends that you can turn it more to the couch friends, right? Like, know when to shut it off. Like, okay, hey, let's do this mindless activity and I don't know, go play bocce and like talk about life or something else, right? Like, you can make that transition with that group of friends if you're, close enough.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's well said.